Well, hello there, everybody. Hello, hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, I guess, depending on where you are dialing in from, logging in from. Welcome, everybody. Greetings from Michigan. Snowy and cold, freezing cold Michigan. Good to see everybody. I'm getting a little bit of an echo. We'll just get that music off. Thank you. Shut the music off. And we're just going to get, if any of my panelists are on speaker, just put it off speaker. There we go. Super duper. Hello, everybody. Wow, look at that. Closing in on 200 people on the very first boot camp of the year. So great to be here with everybody. Welcome. Thank you so very much for coming out. And greetings from Michigan. We're right in the middle of an event here. And I just did a PGR this morning for the guests, and we're heading back down to do the training. But I had to come up here to start off the boot camp and just be with you guys. This is such an important part of 2019. And I feel so privileged and so grateful, eternally grateful to have an opportunity to present this boot camp that is very, very near and dear to me. I want to give you a little bit of a background as to how this all came about and what you are in store for over the course of the year. Just a little bit about me. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Nitsa Nakos. I'm a Gold Director Elite 3 with Karatbars. I absolutely love this company because this company has given me my freedom back. And my story, short and sweet, I was someone who did not understand the value of gold right before the last big recession, which was 2008. And the reason for that is because I didn't understand the value of gold, I didn't have any gold. And that was how I lost all of my wealth back in 2008. Financially devastated. I lost literally over $1 million between real estate investments, stock market. My savings was depleted as I needed to obviously, live off of my savings to get through, the first few years of the recession. And so that when Karatbars came my way, it was, for me, it was a godsend. It was just perfect timing in my life to engage in this new opportunity that was all about truth and freedom. It was all about gold. And I really looked at it like, it was important for me to get in and go in big because of what happened to me, and that I didn't want anybody else to have to go through that. And I was one of hundreds of millions of people that experienced that that wealth transfer in a very, very, very difficult way. So if you were also part of 2008 and lost a lot of wealth through that wealth transfer, you understand. And perhaps you are where you are here today feeling the same way as I do, that we were called, we went through that so that we can come here and be as big as we possibly can for as many people as we possibly can. And that's really why, I work as hard as I do in Karatbars. It's not money related, but don't get me wrong. I love to make money. I love to make a lot of money, but I'm not motivated by money. What motivates me is value. What motivates me is seeing people grow and being a part of that growth, whether it's directly or indirectly, to work on the solution, to work, within a community that supports people's growth. That really is what fires me up, everybody. And this ACE Leadership Bootcamp was inspired for a few reasons. First of all, the boot camp itself, the title of the boot camp, ACES, is something that I came up with many years ago, over 10 years ago. I was, those of you know me know that I've been in network marketing now for 25 years, and 15 of those years I've been in a pretty high leadership position. So, influencing thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis. So the things I do, the choices I make, the decisions I make, I don't do them for me. I do them really as a responsibility when I think about hundreds of thousands of people that look up to me and follow me. And so with ACES many, many years ago, I was doing very well, making, millions of dollars in network marketing. And I started this boot camp to take my team to the next level. And I called it ACEs because, you know, it stands for attitude. We can always continue to work on our attitude. Attitude is everything. We're in the people's business, right? And at any given point, we're either attracting people to us or we're repelling people to us. And that has to do, a lot of that has to do with our attitude and how we show up on a daily basis, how we show up for ourselves, how we show up for our team, how we show up for our leaders, how we show up for our company. You know, our attitude and the way we show up in the market is so vitally important to success and attracting success, because success is not something we chase. It's something that just naturally comes to us when we're ready, and building and developing a positive attitude, you know, a team spirited attitude, you know, is so very important. And we're going to touch a lot on attitudes throughout the course of this boot camp. You're going to hear from people that have been successful, that are successful now with Karatbars, and that can talk to you about attitude and the things that they do and prepare. So you're going to get a lot of hands-on experiential training. This is not just theory, things we read in books that seem good, okay? This is things that work, practical applications that work. And that's very important to me. I'm a firm believer that you must eat your own cooking. So if you're going to cook, you better eat it. And I can promise you that this is really the only way I know how to lead. It's through doing. And the things that we're going to share with you are really going to be through the experiential side of it and doing. And the second letter, C, commitment. You know, commitment is key for everything. And again, it starts with us. To be a good leader, we must learn to lead ourselves first. And that takes a commitment to self. And that does not mean that you are not a selfless person or a servant-driven person, but it simply means that you've learned to lead yourself. And, you know, making a commitment to do that is 80% of it right there. Learning simple disciplines, time management, how to be more effective, learning, you know, self-care, how to take care of yourself, mind, body, emotions, spirit, all of that plays into your personal commitment, you know, to self. Becoming that that leader that people are looking for, because the reality is that we have only touched the surface here in Karatbars. There are millions of people that are going to join Karatbars over the next 5-10 years. And, you know, our commitment to self first and foremost, and then to each other is, you know, what people look for. Those are the leaders that people want to follow. And that absolutely shows in how, you know, your posture, in the way that you conduct yourself, your business, your commitment to yourself spills out into everything. Because I have a simple philosophy in life, and it's this: how you do anything is how you do everything. So it all starts with us and our commitment to self, our commitment to learning, our commitment to growing, our commitment to staying humble, our commitment to success, our commitment to community, our commitment to all-inclusiveness, our commitment, you know, to growing this most amazing opportunity, golden independence era, which begins this year, but 2019 is just the beginning. You know, where we're going over the next 5 to 10 years, that's, you know, that's huge for people that are brand new. And you and I that are in this business already, that might already have a little bit of traction, a little bit of experience, us now committing and taking ourselves to the next level will only make it that much more stronger, okay, for the people who follow. So yes, this is a course for ourselves, but what it's really for, it's for everyone. It's for the people that are not in Karatbars yet. Does that make sense, everybody? You know, the E stands for excellence, and I want to speak on that. Most of you that know me know that I strive for excellence. But one thing I learned a very long time ago is excellence you cannot be attached to results, because a lot of time the results are out of your control. You can control, up to a certain point based on the choices and the decisions you make. But there are a lot of things that happen that are beyond your control. And striving for excellence does not mean a result. Okay, striving for excellence is really about expectations. It's how you think. Okay, it's what you expect out of life, but at the same time understanding that if you get attached to it, you will lose yourself in the process. Okay, so very wise words that were passed down to me many, many years ago. Expect success every time, in everything you do, everything you encounter, every person you meet. Expect the best out of them. But if it doesn't work out that way, don't be attached, meaning don't judge them, love on them, pray for them, let them go. Every single endeavor you begin, every phone call you make, every person you meet for Karatbars, expect the best out of that. And you know what? If it doesn't work out that way, that's okay. Learn to let it go quickly. Excellence, striving for excellence is how we conduct ourselves, in Karatbars. It's, showing up at all the events. And, excellence is not just something that, is easy to do, but it's the things that are, that challenge you, that bring you outside of your comfort zone. Those are the things that will grow you. So it's showing up even though you know that, wow, there's like no way I can make that event. I don't have the money to get there, but you trust and you believe, and you know what? At the end of the day, you get there. No matter what it takes, you get there. It's about our weekly dual team system, for example. We have payouts every single Friday. Do you expect to get paid every single Friday? Is that part of your expectation? When I joined this company and I saw this compensation plan, I said to myself and my business partner, Priska King, Priska, there will not be a week that will go by that we will not make commission. We will make commission each and every week for the course of this great journey with this company. Why? Because we can. It's available to us. So when we set our expectations based on excellence, based on getting the best results, but not getting attached to those results. Do you see what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? That changes, it shifts you, it changes your entire being, your energetic field, and then you will attract success. People will come to you more easy, opportunities come to you more easy, and you will be able to move into that area of success that you deem for yourself, okay? So ultimately, ACEs stands for Attitude, Commitment, and Excellence, to create success in our lives in every area of our life, no matter whether it's health, relationships, business, finance. I will tell you that a lot of this will also spill into your everyday life. But my main focus of the boot camp is to really help you grow yourself, your skills, and your income in 2019. Okay, that's my vision. Your goal, your self, personal development is 80%. And we're going to impart on you. I'm going to have a panelist of leaders and great speakers that are going to talk to you about their lives, their experience, what they've done, things that they've seen, things that have worked, not worked, to help you in these ways. So personally, professionally, and ultimately financially, my goal, our goal over the course of this year is to see you go next level in all of these ways. This is the value that you will get through the ACEs Bootcamp. And I did this 10 years ago, but here's the beautiful thing. We are in a paradigm shift right now. And I wanted to reintroduce this and call it ACEs again, not because I'm going to have the same material. I have the same outcome, which is to help you grow personally, professionally, financially, but not the same material. Why? Because we're living in a different time. Things are different, and we can't stay attached to the way things used to be. You've heard me talk a lot about cutting the branch, cutting the branch, cutting the branch. And, basically means that, cut the branch, let's get out of our comfort zone, and let's grow these wings of independence. Because when the branch shortcuts and the thing that we're so, set on, that comfort that we cling to because it is comfortable, when that's gone, we have two choices. One, to fall straight down and hurt ourselves, or two, to start flapping those wings and growing those wings and growing those wings. And even though it might feel uncomfortable and scary, trusting and knowing that you won't fall. As long as you keep flapping those wings, they will continue to grow bigger and bigger and take you into this era of independence in a whole new way. We are in a big paradigm shift with our financial system. We are in a major paradigm shift with the digital era of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So doesn't it make sense that this new era also calls for a different breed of leadership, a more authentic leadership, a leader shift, a shift in the mindset of leaders, a shift in the activity, in the connectivity of leaders, the way we communicate, the way we network, the way we lead. So I don't want to hold anything back in this boot camp. This is about being real. This is not about reading a script. It's not about, telling you what we think you want to hear. This is about articulating heart to heart. Us, you, me, you, and all the panelists of speakers, heart to heart, articulating our trials, our tribulations, and ultimately what we are doing now to level ourselves, get to the next level, and attract the success that we are in our Karatbars business, because we have an attitude of success. We commit to success in every way. We show up always expecting excellence from ourselves and each other, and knowing that as we do this, we will ultimately get to where we want to go and create the success that we want for ourselves and our family. Success looks different for each and every one of us. It is so unique to you. The way I view it is not the way you view it, and that's perfect just the way it is. There's no right or wrong to success. It just is. It is by what you label it, by what you see it as, by the way you see it, the way you feel it, the way your senses get encompassed, okay, with it. And we're going to be covering a lot of that and more throughout the boot camp. So every single boot camp, this is what it's going to look like. First, we lead with training. So we will have a topic. Today's topic is about attitudes and philosophies. So it's going right back to the root of everything. Our philosophy is the way we think. And oftentimes we have to shift philosophies, like those paradigm shifts. They create us to shift philosophies. The things we think are right or work actually, don't, and therefore we need to shift that. And that, it could be instantaneous, but it is big when you shift philosophies. And sometimes we need to shift philosophies. Right now, in this new era of golden independence, there are, some philosophies that we have to let go of. One is, of course, financial, the way that we work with money, the way that we exchange money. We all need to rise up now and become the payment system, use the payment system. We're doing that already in our daily businesses, I hope. Everybody using the payment system now, acquiring, digital products right now, because right now the payment system is available internally. But very soon we'll be able to go all over the world with it, and us being, prime, and us being the ones leading into the market with it, going to our business partners and saying, hey, I want to pay you in gold, and I've got the solution for you. If you want to change it into anything else afterwards, that's no problem. But if you want to do business with me, we got to do it this way, right? So it's going to take changing our philosophies. And today we're going to focus on philosophy, the way we think about ourselves, about each other, about the world. That's big. Philosophies also, they will fuel and determine the way you show up. So naturally, the way you think is how you show up for other people. And we can show up looking good, smelling good, you know, but that doesn't cut it anymore, okay? Because people are more evolved now, and we're evolving, and we can just sense from each other. Can we not? Sometimes you just sense, and you know, you might see a beautiful looking person come into the room and whichever, but you know what? Underneath it, they might be scared, they might be hurting, and you know what? Even though the appearance is there, deep down, you can sense something is off and something is not right. This is next level. This is next level evolution of ourselves. And we're just naturally, with the tools that we have available to us, with the you know, exercising our faith on a daily basis, we just naturally grow, you know, this type of communication. So we're going into this time right now that requires us to shift our philosophies, our attitudes, and we're going to focus on that today. Every single boot camp will also have a call to action, okay? So yes, we're going to impart on you some knowledge, some facts. We're going to give you tips and strategies for success, but we're also going to give you some homework between now and the next boot camp. And every person who's going to be leading the boot camp, I'm going to do about half of the boot camps this year, and then I'm calling in leaders who have had next level experiences within Karatbars to come in and also help me, okay? So you will have homework, you will have something that's going to call you to move and stretch and grow so that you can grow personally, in your own self-development, professionally, in your skills, strategies of growing your business, and thirdly, ultimately, to bring in more revenue into your Karatbars business. So ladies and gentlemen, that is what we have coming up for you. Our next boot camp will be February the 9th. I will be conducting that boot camp. I can't wait to be with you then. Today, I am a participator just like you. I've got my notebook out. I'm ready to take down notes. I'm ready to dive into this great information, and I can't wait for you to experience it with today's trainer. Today's trainer is, first of all, she's an incredible human being. She is a visionary. She is full of heart. She is a team player extraordinaire. Everything she does is about team. I have seen her grow her Karatbars business in such a predictable manner. Meaning what? Meaning she has been a student of the system, even though she came into this as a professional trainer. So she has trained tens of thousands of people all over the world on health, on alternative health, on energy, on how we can improve our lives. She also has been involved in real estate and has had a successful career in real estate in the past. But one thing I love about Lorraine Eldridge, when she got started in Karatbars, she was day one, just like a brand new person, not knowing anything. And I have seen her progress all the way up this company to just recently, actually 2 days ago today, becoming a brand new Gold Director Elite 1. So helping her team members get to the rank of Gold Director Elite. Congratulations, Pam Rochon, for making it to Gold Director Elite. And of course, what does that mean? It means you're digging down, working with your team, and bringing up gold directors. Gold directors is the beginning, in my opinion, of that freedom, okay? Freedom with income, okay? Where you can start to make some bigger decisions. You start to have duplication happening at a much faster pace within your team. So big congratulations to the Masons, Sonia and Walter Mason, for making gold director, and therefore Pam Rochon and now Lorraine Eldridge doing what they needed to do, building their other lines as well, so that they can secure their Gold Director and Gold Director Elite 1. It gives me a great honor, privilege, and actually goosebumps to have Lorraine Eldridge start us off on this boot camp number 1, talking to you, all of us, on the most important thing, what sets us off for success, and that is our philosophies and our attitudes. Let's Please welcome, help me welcome, Lorraine Eldridge, Goal Director Elite 1 from the mountains of North Carolina. Are you there? Here she is.
I am here. Thank you so much for joining us, Nitsa, and that wonderful introduction. Is everybody excited for what's going to happen at Leadership Bootcamp 2019? I'm excited. And it's about growth for all of us. Just like Nitsa talked about, this is about all of us growing. I know from my conversations with Nitsa and Priska while we were working on this first one, that they're growing and they're intending to grow. It's growth by intention. And just preparing this and working on this, I found myself growing. So this is really about personal development, and it is pointed to our business development because we've got a big mission right now, don't we? We have a big mission, and we so hope that everybody can really take this to heart and move with it. So I am delighted to be here. Let's get the slides moving. I want to welcome everybody for coming. As you heard, and you can see, I'm Lorraine Eldridge. I'm just very excited and honored to be bringing this to you. Karatbars International and our CEO, Harold Seiss, has a big vision for our company. He started out with a big vision in 2011, didn't he? And so many of those goals were met. And by 2017, our company became the #1 world leader in the sales and production of small increments of pure gold bullion, transactable. This was the goal, to make it be able to be used by everybody. Small increments, but high quality. And he did it. We did it. We did it as a team. And now we're looking at an explosive 2018 year where cryptocurrency and so many other things were introduced. This next level, taking this company from $100 million in its first 7 years to $100 million in a few months to $1 billion in 2019. What do you think? Can we do it? I think we can. I think we can. I'm up for this. And this leadership training is for everybody. This is for the brand new person who just came. You can invite people that are just looking at this if you want to, because it's really about personal development. We're all leaders of our life. Even when you give over your power to someone else to do something, you made that decision. You led that decision. So we're all leaders, and this is something that we can all learn a lot about. And it's about inspiration and information and action. You know, I read a wonderful little thing the other day. This was kind of funny. Here's a little question for you. It's a little quiz. Picture 4 frogs on a lily pad in a pond. Okay? 4 frogs, lily pad in a pond. One of them decides to jump off. How many are now on the lily pad? Give me some answers. 4. Judy got it. She's read the book. It was a decision. And while a decision is the first part, we need to take action. A lot of decisions are made, but no action is taken, right? So that's the big difference. So we're going to have information, inspiration. We'll be making decisions. You'll be making decisions in your life, but it's as you take this action that is going to help bring us to this $1 billion mindset that we need to bring this company to that $1 billion. Please make a note, everybody. The next one is February 9th, and we'll be excited for that. So now I want some participation. What do you want to gain from Leadership Bootcamp? Just type in a few words. What are you looking to gain over these next 12 months? If you look back 12 months from now, what do you want to see has changed? How have you evolved? Financial freedom, growth, education, transformation, tips, next level leadership, personal flow charts, acceleration, more knowledge. You know, we're going to be getting all of those things. The quality of life, love that, because isn't that what we all really want, is a quality of life for ourselves and for others that feels good in our heart. That's what we all really want, right? So let's take, there we go. Let's take a quick look. at our leadership boot camp in 2019. We're going to be discovering inner strength and hidden blocks and how to release those. We're going to learn and teach a simple system of duplication. So there's your answer. We're going to learn how to maximize the 2019 Karatbars compensation plan. And who isn't excited about that, right? Generational commissions, matching bonus commissions, very exciting. This is definitely a compensation plan that is going to reward us for helping others. And isn't that what so many of us want? We want to make a difference, and we want to make a difference in our own lives, and we want to make a difference helping others. So we have a compensation plan that rewards that, and we'll be getting tips and strategies for how to make the best use of that. This is also about really creating an asset, right? Because our business is an asset, and it can provide us with a long-term residual income, even generational, right? So this is about creating an asset for ourselves and for our team members and our family. And also, of course, we're going to be sharpening our skills, and we're going to be working with proven strategies for success that work. So this is all about creating that billion-dollar mindset, right? We're going to take this company to the billion-dollar company so that millions, millions, and millions can experience financial freedom here and now, right? This is a billion-dollar mindset. And how are we going to do this? How are we going to get this big billion-dollar mindset? It's going to be a leader shift. We're in a whole new world. This is a new paradigm, what's happening. This transfer of wealth is different than all of the other transfers of wealth. It's a cycle. That transfers of wealth are cycle, just like the seasons and, the planets, and in our bodies we have cycles. But in this particular cycle, there's a change because we've entered a new time. This is a new paradigm. And in this transfer of wealth, it's not from one hand to another. It's not from one wealthy group to another wealthy group. This is from the 1% to the 99%. This is from a world where only a very few hold on to the wealth of the world, to where the many can have financial freedom. That's what's different about this. And that's why we are looking at a leader shift for myself and for you, and to move to the next level of leadership so that we can facilitate that. That's what this one is about. And that's why so many of us are needed for that, because when you think about 99% of the people on this planet not having financial security, so many living from paycheck to paycheck or less, right? So many in great poverty. They don't have a mindset for wealth. They don't have a mindset for feeling secure, that they can provide for themselves and their family. So it is a big shift for us and for them. So we, as a leader who wants to help people, who wants to bring this mission, who wants to help fulfill this mission and vision that Karatbars has cast and is so beautifully fulfilling, we need to have a shift so that we understand that we are entering into a new world where we are working with people who haven't even been able to have that wish, that vision, because they've never seen it. It's never been possible for them. So this is a big shift for us. So leadership skills and the mindset are what this is all about, right? This is what we've got. These are our assets. So our skills can come from a lot of different ways. We can get many tips and a lot of information from the books we're reading, from who we're listening to, from the audiobooks, that sort of thing. And in fact, just in the last 2 days, this is mindset, right? The secrets of the millionaire mind. So we have skills, and then we have our mind. What's our mindset? And just in the last 2 days, 2 great leaders on our team have told me that they're reading this book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. And one of them is Quinn Milan, who is a Gold Director Elite 3 and has been leading a team of thousands successfully for a few years here at Karatbars. She's reading this book now. And the other one is a brand new Gold Director Elite, Pam Rochon. So what does that tell you? Here we have a brand new leader. What's she reading? Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And we have a very successful leader who's already leading thousands of people, Queen Amalam. What's she reading? Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. There you go. So leaders are readers, and you want to be thinking about how you're putting your energy. Where are you spending your energy? You know, Nietzsche likes to say, anyone can read 12 pages a day, right? So it isn't about taking over your life so that you're spending it all reading and learning or watching the videos on YouTube that are all about this. It's about taking small steps. It's about doing a little bit of the things that are going to bring the results that you want, going to bring the shift, the leadership that you want. And this is one of them. Who are you associating with? That's another thing. When you're reading these books, you're associating with the energy of Stephen Covey. Hey, pretty good, right? Or T. Harv Eker. When you're reading that, you're spending time in that space, in that vibration of these successful people. The same thing as when you show up to meetings and catch the webinars. You're in that energy that is creating and that is successful. And that's very important because it makes a difference. Your energy is your greatest asset. And it's really important that you manage it. When we learn to manage our energy, we have, that's the big battle. Because that's about how we manage our emotions. That's about how we manage our responses. That's about how we manage our health. And you will find that it's also about how you manage your wealth, right? So be mindful of how you're managing your energy and where it's going and how you're spending it. Treasure it, nurture it, and spend it wisely. So one of the things about leaders is they're responsible. Woodrow Wilson said, the buck stops here. You take responsibility. And while that doesn't mean that we are enabling others, that we're going to be responsible, that they get this done and that done and that done, no. But it means that we take responsibility to provide the opportunity or the tools that they need, point them to they need for our team members to get there. Just like responsibility. It's a parent's responsibility to teach their child how to tie their shoes, right? It's much easier if you do it yourself. It's a lot quicker, but we want to empower our children to learn to tie their shoes. It's a simple thing, right? We want to empower our team members to be able to become leaders. And the only way we do that is by setting the example. And we never stop learning. You want to never stop learning because that is what growth is all about. And, when we stop growing, then we go the other way. There's really no coast. There is grow or, no grow. Stop. And so one of the things that here's the leaders accept responsibility right here with Harry Truman, and the buck stops here. And this has become one of the most repeated phrases really of all times, right? And as a leader, it's really a major responsibility on your shoulders to practice the behavior you want others to follow. You know that old saying, you got to walk the talk? And so it's not about telling people what to do. It's about showing people by example. And we have the best, we really have the best examples of that, don't we? Here in the Karatbars community, because our leaders are out there doing it. They realize that in order to make a difference, they have to make it. And that's something I heard on a TV show. I love the Sharks TV show. When I watch TV, that's one I don't watch very many, but that's one I do like to watch. And I can't think of his name now. John, he did the FUBU series, but he was telling a gentleman one night who really wanted to make a difference, He told him, a lot of people want to make a difference, but in order to make a difference, you have to make it first. Because It is through your example. It is through your vibration. It is through what you emanate that people can catch, and they can then look to you for inspiration and truth and authenticity as a leader. So the pointing and the telling, it's not going to work. It's being the example. It's doing it. It's walking the talk. And when you do this, then others will be able to follow you. They'll be able to catch that. They'll be able to do it in their own way, perhaps. Not just like you, that's okay. But it's that level of, I'm going in. I'm not sure who's following, but I'm going in. And that's really what we've got to do. So here's just some examples of how leaders accept responsibility. They're going to set a good example. They have a vision. What's our vision for 2019, right? We want to take this company to $1 billion company so that we can help millions and millions find financial freedom. Do you think there's people in your community, maybe in your family, maybe your neighbors in another country, who are hoping for financial freedom? Who are hoping to be able to pay their mortgage? Or maybe take care of a medical bill? To them at that moment in time, it's financial freedom. Do you think there's very many people? There's lots of them. There's the majority, the 99%, right? So we have to see that vision, and we learn to communicate clearly. We spend the time that it takes to understand a concept or something that's new. You know, I was on Wendell and Quina's coffee with Quina and Wendell this morning. And wow, what a great presentation they did on learning about the exchange. And, you know, we also have, Johnny and Bill have been working to help us learn about the 21-day challenge, the 2019 challenge, which involves how we take our cash gold and move it into other digital assets. We move that. And this is great. And having this clear communication so that we can understand what's going on is important. So we as leaders are learning, and we need to make sure that we understand that we take the time to learn so we can impart that to others. And then they will pick this up and they become clear communicators. You know, it's a cycle, and we're an important part of that cycle. As a leader of your life, as a leader of your team, you're an important part of that cycle. And as Nietzsche was saying, expect the best. Just expect the best from everybody. You know, that is a positive attitude, but it's important. It's important to expect the best from people, because you know what? You're going to get it more if you expect it. You know, if you expect there to be issues, if you expect there to be glitches, if you expect there to be problems, you're going to get a lot more issues, glitches, and problems. When you expect the best, it doesn't mean that you don't get those things. It just means that you're not tied to them. They don't tear you apart. They don't pull you asunder. You haven't all of a sudden lost your vision because there was a glitch at the exchange, or, you know, something with your credit card didn't work, right? I mean, we come up against these things all the time. You know, you think about, one of my top team members has stopped, you know, for whatever reason. You know, these things don't throw you. You expect the best. But when that doesn't happen, it's okay, you know, because you're solid. You're not tied to the outcome. You want to be supportive. You need to support your team, right? A good leader supports their team, but that's by empowering, not necessarily enabling, right? Because when we enable, we take away their ability for growth and opportunity. We really do. So it's through empowering. We teach, we show, we point, we do it ourselves, and this helps empower. This is the kind of support. But it can also be the kind of support that comes through the encouragement when we're expecting the best, but that doesn't necessarily happen. You know, so we need to be there when the failures do happen, because there's a lot of failures along the way. This is how we learn. I feel so many times, but that's okay, you know, because that's part of the process. And it's good to be there as a team leader to support people and to give encouragement during those times. That's important. That's really important. And to recognize advancements, little ones, big ones, it doesn't matter what it is, be there to recognize that. Take that time to recognize that. You know, I didn't used to think that was very important. But interestingly enough, as times have moved along, that recognition has become more important to me. And I'm not sure if it was just a little mindset that, you know, I'm not really good enough, or, you know I'm a flawed person, so don't recognize me. Or it was having that growth that realizes, yeah, I've got issues. I am a flawed person in some ways, but that doesn't mean that I'm not doing great in other ways. So it's important to get that recognition and to give that recognition. And another thing is, you've got to be inspiring. You want to inspire people. And lots of times you do that by knowing them. You know, do you know that this particular team member really wants one of their big reasons for getting involved in a home business? Maybe it just started out as a second business, but was so that they could put their 2 children through college. Did you know that? So when they're down in the dumps because something didn't go quite right for them, when they're experiencing a failure, you can inspire them for why they began here in the beginning, you know, and that's still there. That possibility, that opportunity, that didn't go anywhere. This is just a setback, but remember why you're here. So that's one of the ways that we can inspire people too, is when we know our team members, when we spent a little bit of time getting to know them for, you know, why are you here? What are your goals? And integrity, you know, that's not something you can buy, and it's not something you can fake. Integrity is so important. And I go back to what Nietzsche said about how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that's integrity. So if you find yourself thinking or wanting to, you know, cut the corner here or whatever, really spend some time thinking about that, because integrity is something that it doesn't always just, you know, spring upon us. It isn't always just taught by our family. Sometimes we learn it by trial and error. You know, we tried this out and maybe it felt right, maybe it didn't, whatever, but we did it anyway, and we get to see that it didn't work. So it's not so much either you have integrity, you'll always have it, or you don't have integrity, you'll never have it. That's not the way it is, because we're constantly learning and we're constantly experiencing new challenges, and these challenges are to help us grow. And if we don't have these rubs or these challenges on our integrity, on how we show up for people, on our vision, on our being able to communicate, if we don't have these, then we're not going to grow. So expect them and learn from them, you know, and spend some time with that. And then you got to have clear goals, right? Leaders have goals. You know, our goal for this, for everybody, is to experience a new level of leadership, a new level of income for themselves, a new level of personal growth, because you're not going to have one without the other. You know, our personal growth and leadership are so tied together. If you're really headed to be a successful leader, you will find that you become more aware of who you are, and you have a deeper level of understanding about who you are and how you fit into this universe than you ever did before. And that's part of the times. It's part of this new age that we've entered into, this new paradigm of self-understanding and self-reflection. That's true, and it's a good time for us right now. And another thing is, leaders stay plugged in. Leaders know what's going on to share communication with their team, and they stay plugged in. They show up. They show up for the meetings. Yeah, I've seen that PGR 100 times. Gosh knows, 3 years, I've probably seen it a lot more than 100 times. But do I show up? Yeah, why? Because it's inspirational, because it keeps me sharp, and because there's constantly new people doing it too. So I get to learn from someone else's eyes how they say something, how they do something. And of course, the huddle call. Do you want to know what's going on in your business? Then you show up for those things. As you become a director and a goal director elite, there are also those types of leadership calls. Do you show up? Do you make every effort to show up? If you can't show up, do you make an effort to get the information? Or do you wait for someone to call and say, hey, guess what happened? Think about that. Leaders are plugged in, and they make sure they're plugged in. So here's an interesting book that Nitsa led me to. She's reading it again. I'm reading it for the first time. And it's really about slight edge leadership, which is, it's really about attitude, commitment, excellence, and success, and how simple disciplines can turn into massive success and happiness. And that's what it's really about, because we just like we don't go from being born to college, right? We don't go from our first date to a successful marriage. Right? We don't go from our first day on the job to explosive success. It just doesn't happen. And if we expect that, then we're really setting ourselves up for disappointment, right? And the reason is because we haven't grown into it. We just haven't grown into it. We grow into it through experience, and by taking little steps, we can grow into it in a way that stretches us, yes, but it's also doable. And this is important. And to realize that by taking little steps, this is why when we're inviting people to look at our business, we don't spit out everything we know about it, because it's too much. Just like understanding how to run a $1 million company as a CEO is too much for the person who just entered the mailroom. But it can happen. My sister's father-in-law entered the mailroom of Procter & Gamble. Was it? Procter & Gamble. It was at that time, after World War II. He entered the mailroom. He retired as vice president of finance, and it had become General Foods. It was a merger. So I hope I've got that right, the two companies together. They'll forgive me. But, had he been thrust from the mailroom to vice president of the company of finance, would he have had success? Would he have been able to handle it? No. So these little steps, we see this in the macrocosm, but it's also in the microcosm too. The little steps that we take. Do you take that little bit of difference to read those 12 pages today? It's these types of things. It really is totally about attitude, commitment, excellence, and success. That's what it's all about. That's what the slight edge leadership ACEs, that and the strategies that we're going to be working with and the skill set during the next 12 months is just so, I'm thrilled. It's so exciting for me. So I'm really excited and happy about this. Can you make the changes needed for the $1 billion mindset? We're seeing this hashtag all over the place and people are talking about it. That's the start. That's an awareness. It's an awareness that the goal is to bring this company to $1 billion in sales. Why? Because that means millions and millions and millions of people will have had financial success. They will be building for or experiencing financial success. That's why we need $1 billion mindset. So it's a big change, Can you make that big of a change? Does this worry you? Is this too big? Does it scare you? Does it scare you a little? Maybe a lot? But what if you discovered that just little shifts in your attitude, little shifts in your level of commitment and your actions could bring you to $1 billion mindset? This is a great book, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. So here's a question. I want you to think about this. Is wanting it enough? Is wanting it enough? So what do you think you're missing? Well, what do you think may have held you back from the level of success that you want? With wellness, with happiness, with your business, with whatever you desire? What do you think? Think about this. What do you think has held you back from being able to achieve? I'm going to move my chat box so I can see it here. And I want to give you a little hint here. I'm not looking to hear that it's your tools. It's an old colloquial New England saying that says it's a poor master that blames his tools. It's not about your team. It's not about your sponsor. It's not your experience in network marketing, your family, your boss, the financial system in this world. It's not about race, gender, politics. What? If you don't have your $1 billion mindset that you're excited about, or you don't have the success and happiness, love, and wellness that you want, what do you think might be holding you back? Mindset. It is. The key to this is all about philosophies and attitude. It is all about philosophies and attitude. It is all about philosophies and attitude. Because I can teach you how to tie your shoe as a little child. But I can't give you that attitude that makes you want to learn. I can't give you that. That comes from here. Only you can do that. You know, we can tell you where all of the VGRs are, where the trainings are, where the coffee on Saturday is, how to use the exchange, we can do all of that. Teach you, okay, this is how you build a really strong dual team, and this and this and this and this and this. That's 20%. That's the problem. Success is 20% skill, and it's 80% attitude. But you know what? The good thing is that is in your control. Your attitude is 100% in your control. And the skills are something you can learn. You don't have to have the skills. If you have the attitude, you will get the skills. Some of them you may get quicker than others. That's okay. There's still some that I scratch my head over and I go, well, why haven't I learned that yet? But you know what? The attitude was there. If the attitude is there, you can get there. And it has to be a positive attitude. That's for sure. And a positive attitude isn't about blaming. It isn't about pointing. It isn't about constantly correcting. It isn't about telling people that they should be doing things this way or that way. It's not about any of that stuff. That is not positive attitude, right? A positive attitude, a positive philosophy will bring a positive attitude. And positive actions will come from that. You can tell by someone's actions what their philosophy and their attitude is. You can tell if they really have a positive philosophy and a positive attitude by actions. And that will bring positive results, a positive lifestyle, and essentially a positive life in all aspects. So let's just talk a little bit about successful philosophies for the purpose of boot camp. And first off, you got to treat it like a business. And it's a little bit of a hindrance in our business, or in most network marketing businesses. You can get involved usually at a very reasonable entrance fee, right? It's not like buying a franchise of Dunkin' Donuts or something like that, where hundreds and hundreds or even well over $1 million is required. You're going to show up for work. You're going to make sure you know what you need to know. You're going to make sure you know what laws are existing over that business. You're going to make sure you know where your suppliers are. You're going to make sure you know how to use that system that orders inventory when you've got that kind of investment, right? Treat this like that, because it can become that. You may have joined and you have a business, because that's what this is. If you joined as an affiliate, you bought a package, you have a business. But is it really a business? You have the opportunity to grow it into a business, but it's only really going to become one if you take action and you do that. So you got to treat it like a business. And that doesn't mean, okay, so now I got to put 40 to 50. You put into it what you can, but be consistent about it. You know, if you have a part-time business, time flies. And it's just a little part-time business that helps you pay for your fishing gear or your fishing trips that you like to take. You know that you've got to have so many flies to sell in the year in order to be able to pay for that big trip that you want to take up in Alaska or Montana or wherever, right? So you're going to spend so many hours a day or so many hours a week or so many hours a month, whatever you decide that your goal is, you need to be able to set aside that amount of time and stick with it. It's about commitment, making that commitment, right? It's your attitude towards it. So you have to treat it like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to cost you money. It's not going to make you money, right? So the difference in that is sort of like, well, you know, I got a package. I'll send the information out to a few people. We'll see what happens. That's a hobby. That's not a business. That's not a commitment. That's not going to bring excellence, and it certainly isn't going to bring success, okay? So treat it like that $100,000 investment or that $1 million investment, because it is, and it can be. Can people who are in this business for a few years make over $1 million? Certainly when you add it up, absolutely. Many people will. But what about getting to that level where maybe your income is $1 million? Is that possible? It's happened. It happens in a lot of companies. It could happen for you. But you got to treat it like a business. So make your decision when you're setting your goals for what you want this to be. Make your decision that you're going to treat it like a business and then act like that. You know, take that action. Another thing is you've got to believe that you can change your life in 90 days. You know, sometimes the only form of transportation that you have is a leap of faith. So the as-if theory, which is actually one of the natural laws of the universe, acting as if something has come to pass, acting as if I am successful. You still got to take the steps. You can't just be talking and pretending you're successful. But a successful business owner shows up for work. A successful business person treats it with respect and treats their people that they work with respect and encouragement. A successful business person pays attention to what's going on. They're plugged in, right? That's acting as if. So on day one, you don't necessarily need to do all of those things, but you need to act as if you need to, right? So you need to show up. Yeah, you don't necessarily need to know how to do all of the things that you aren't doing yet, as in running the team. And what do I need to know about the comp plan? I haven't even made a commission yet, right? You do. Act as if. Bring it in. And it's doing these things that can change your life in 90 days. You know, having that belief, letting that be your mode of transportation to success can make it happen. And sometimes we don't fully believe. But if you take the action, you'll get to believe through the experience. And that's a wonderful thing too. So sometimes even if you don't fully believe, you know, I didn't really fully believe that I could make $30,000 a year back in the early 80s. Some friends were talking about that. And this one friend of mine was a flight attendant and she was making $30,000 a year. And I thought, you know, I said to my partner at the time, I said, wow, I couldn't make $30,000 a year. And, you know, a couple of years later, I did make $30,000 a year. So, you know, sometimes our belief systems aren't really what we're really capable of, right? And they won't necessarily hold us back. But I'll tell you in a little bit something that did happen with that very belief system about the $30,000 in just a moment. But first, can you change your life in 90 days? I did, and I did with this company. When I was first introduced, I was working 3 different streams of income in order to be able to get what I needed to just support myself, just be able to buy food and put a roof over my head, not flourishing, but I was able to, you know, provide for myself. And it was taking 3 different income streams, a great deal of time, and created stress. But within 90 days, it was just shy of 90 days, I had matched the income with Karatbars that all 3 of the others were producing. And let me tell you something, that caught my attention. But I took action. You know what? I sent that video out. We had different videos then, but I called my friends, my list. I called them and got excited about it, and I sent it to them. And you know what? It worked. It worked. And so you got to believe you can change your life. I love Priska's story. Priska, when she was first here, she was working in a company for 4 years, just before Karatbars. She worked for 4 years at a network marketing company, and she did well. She kept growing. She did well. But when she came to Karatbars and started here, in 90 days, she had matched that income that it took her 4 years to build. So it's a mindset coupled with the opportunity. And, you know, we have that here, especially with what's going on right now. The opportunity is so big because there's so many who are interested in what we're doing, even though they don't know it yet and they haven't met you, or maybe you just haven't told them, but they are interested and they want something that we have to be able to offer them. And that is financial freedom. And that's a big thing, because with financial freedom, people can have more wellness in their life. You know, they can have time freedom. They can be spending time with their families. They can have less worry. You know, they can have security. This is big. It's a big thing. It's a big step for many other levels of wellness and happiness in your life. And then understanding the slight edge. What's the secret sauce? The secret sauce is understanding that just little steps, but done consistently, will make the difference for you. That's an important thing, is to understand just little steps, because you may be looking here and you may be looking, well, there's Nitsa. Well, she's been doing this for 25 years. And for the last 15, she's been leading hundreds of thousands of people. Oh my heavens. But she didn't start out that way. She didn't start out that way. She took little steps. And you know what? It can take you a lot shorter time than it took Nitsa to get to that success, because that's what's going on today. And because also it's been done. Once something has been done, it's created a pattern. It started a pattern in the energy of the universe. It started a pattern. After one person has done it, 2 people have done it, 3 people have done it, 4 people have done it. You all know the story of the 100th monkey. If you don't, this was actually a scientific study that was done on an island where they dropped, I believe it was coconuts, and they would drop the coconuts in the sand, and they were doing some sort of a study there. Well, after a little while, what they noticed was that one of the younger monkeys washed his coconut before he ate it. Maybe it was banana. I can't remember. But anyways, washed it before he ate it. Well, pretty soon there were some other monkeys on that island doing that too. And it was nice, you know, not to have that gritty sand in their teeth. Good idea. Well, it wasn't long when an experiment that was going on, not on that island, but across the sea in a different location, they started washing their food before they ate it too. So that is how energy, we are all connected, we're entangled. And what has happened now, all of this time and this energy that our leaders like Priska, Nitsa, I don't want to leave anyone out, Brian, you know, Quina, Wendell, Joby, all of these leaders who have been working towards sharing this mission and vision of Karatbars, all makes it easier for us today and for all new people coming in. So success that may have taken 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, just a short time ago, can happen very rapidly, but with little steps and consistently. And if you treat it like a business and take that leap of faith to believe in yourself that you can change. And think about times that you have changed. You know, if you want to trigger that mindset, we've all changed something in our life. We've changed a habit of some kind. Maybe we changed a job. We took a change. We've all done some changes. And this is another one. You know, this is another one. So what I'd like you to do is to type some of the attitudes that can repel success into the chat box. And if you want to really get some growth out of this, put your own attitudes that you know that have repelled success, or you suspect that have repelled success from you. Maybe you're a procrastinator. Maybe you've been afraid to pick up the phone and call people. What are some of the attitudes that can repel success? Because, you know, having a positive attitude isn't all about la-di-da, everything's rosy and wonderful. We need to be self-reflective and take a look at what's going on in our life, and that's our life. It's not about pointing out what's going wrong in other people's lives, being disingenuous, saying you don't have time. Oh, that's a great one. Whoever said that, it's going so fast. Making mistakes. Does that paralyze you, right? Does that paralyze you, making a mistake? It can, but you can't let it. That's about letting go, right? That's that part of excellence that you expect the best, but you can let go. You know, even with this webinar, you know, I'm tweaking it right up to the end. And I'm thinking, oh, I could have done that better. Oh, I couldn't have done that better. But at some point, you have to just take a breath, do a little meditation, and say, I'm going to do my best, you know, and let go of the outcome, and just hope that people get the best of my heart in what I'm trying to share. Fear, doubt, all of those things. Yeah, so true. Being scared, being just, you know, doing your best. Okay, these are good. So what are some of the attitudes that can attract success to you? What are some of the things that you know you have that can attract success for you? Confidence, can-do attitude, passion, self-doubt. See, we have these. They are within us. Being trustworthy. Yeah, that's important. People need to trust you, right? In order for you to be a good leader. Positive confession. Yeah, you gotta be willing to let it out when you make a mistake. It's okay. Knowing the significance of what we have our hands on. Yeah, you know, that's important, because that's that knowingness that this is big and this is good and this is real is important. Lead from the heart. Discipline. Yeah, so see, you see, we have a lot of these things already, right? That's why you're showing up here today. That's why anyone would show up for a leadership boot camp, is for that reason right there. They're already having these things. They are within all of us, and that is the key. The skills, the strategies for how to take advantage of this amazing comp plan we have, the skills for how to make a call, how to reach down into your team, how to open the month, run the month, and close the month. Those are skills, and you can all learn those. And you'll get better and better the more you do them, the more you do them. But that other part, that part that is coming from within you, that philosophy and that attitude, that's all you. We can get inspiration. So let's think about this. You think you have a positive attitude most of the time, right? You really want it. You've got a deep desire. You've got a deep want for it. And you think you're working hard for it. You're doing your best, whatever your best may be. Whether it's part-time or full-time or whatever you're doing, you know you're doing your best for it, or almost your best, right? You're working hard for it. Is this working? Has having a positive attitude, really wanting it, working hard for it, has it worked for you? Is it working for you? Think about that. So if you have these thoughts that, you know, I really want it, I can see it, I can taste it, but I can't quite capture it. You know, what could be going on? What could be going on? And this is what attitude and it is really all about, because an attitude comes from our philosophy. And it is our attitude about commitment and about excellence and about success. But here's the thing about that makes it tricky. Is attitudes is actually one of the natural laws of the physical universe. And it includes many of our belief systems. And some of these belief systems can help us and they can hinder us. Some of these are inherited and some of these are acquired. So by inherited, Harvard just did a fabulous study. You know, thought patterns, emotions can be handed down over 14 generations, right? And then acquired is something that is coming from, this belief system is something that is coming from this lifetime. You know, this is that type of programming that we get, right? That comes from experience or observation, that type of experience. And others could be from the experience and observation for generations back. Right? So our belief systems can attract and repel success. So what do you believe? Do you believe that you can build a big team? Do you believe you can have life-changing, long-term income? Do you believe you can teach others to build a team and have a good residual income? Do you believe that you can have a $1 billion mindset? Do you believe this? Do you really know what you believe? Because I want to point this out, and it's so important. We are really only aware of about 10% of our thoughts. The other 90% is subconscious. And if you think about this, it might be like, I'm not sure why I'm drawn to something or why I'm not drawn to something. I can't really put my finger on, what experience I've had in my life. I can't think of anything that makes me have a fear of heights or be repelled by, people who act like this or that type of job or whatever. Sometimes and it's because we're really only aware, conscious of about 10% of what's going on. And the rest is subconscious. It is our subconscious mind that is really driving the boat here, okay? So this is an important thing. Do you believe that you can be wealthy? I hope you do. You better believe you can be wealthy, because here is the thing. There are many people on this call right now. The last time I looked, there was about 300. So there are many people on this call right now, and there's even more people that in 2019 are going to become very wealthy. And if you don't believe you can be wealthy, what is going to happen? If you don't have the belief system that you can be a wealthy person, that you can have more happiness, that you can have a big team, that you can kind of have it all and be a good person still, right? Because these are some of the belief systems that we have. Wealthy people are mean. Wealthy people are stingy. You'll never be wealthy in your life. No one in this family has ever been wealthy. There's a lot of subtle programming and our own experience that has a lot to do with what's going to happen when you do have a windfall. So something to think about, right? You want to examine this. This is a wonderful book by Gay Hendricks, The Big Leap. And this is really about your upper limits for wellness, wealth, wisdom, happiness. And, we are by design, we are designed to survive. That's our biggest first job. We got to survive. We have to survive. That is hardwired in. And then there's a lot of software that is the programming that we get, right? But in the background, all the time, is that we have to survive. And because of that, we tend to give more weight to things that could harm us, right? Things that could harm us, we kind of look out for. And so if we have had an experience that was really grand and then it fell apart, or that we got too excited and through our excitement, we did something that was harmful for us or that caused us to lose it or whatever, this gets kind of imprinted. And we have upper limits. And remember what I said about we're only aware. So you may already know some of your upper limits. But the thing is we're not aware because so much of this is subconscious. And, this can happen in relationships. Lots of times in our relationships with friends, family, or, a loved one, we are, we're having a great time. But if you happen to have an upper limit that, you better watch out, things are going to go wrong. you know, then all of a sudden an argument breaks out or a distance starts happening. I don't know why. I was really enjoying this, being with this person and learning about this friend, but all of a sudden, whoa, there's some distance appearing there. This is us reaching an upper limit that it might not be safe to go there. Be careful, that's the unknown. And this is a very real thing, and this can be a great deterrent. And I'll give you an example of an upper limit that I experienced. And that's one of the reasons why I'm, you know, I pay attention to this, you know, this type of programming. But I talked to you about the $30,000 income. This was back in the early 80s, and a friend was saying, you know, she'd gotten this job with United back then, and she was making $30,000 a year, which, you know, is pretty good back then. And me thinking, wow, I couldn't do that. But then in a couple of years, I started my real estate career, and I did do that. My very first full year was like 31,000. And then I thought, I guess I can, because I remembered that conversation that we had with friends. And then the next year it was like 60. It was like, oh, this is really getting good, you know. And then the next year it was in the 80,000s that I made. And this was in 1985, I think, maybe 86. And I'd made it. I mean, obviously, I could make a lot more money than I thought I could make, right? And I had made it, and I could only see this going up, 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 and up. You know what happened 2 years later? I lost it all. I was bankrupt. I reached an upper limit. So consciously, I thought, hey, this is great. This is awesome. But there was a subconscious program there. Don't be going too high up there, Missy. You know, so we need to be aware of this, and especially now. You know, many of us have not had the opportunity for the abundance that is being offered to us right now. And that's the abundance in so many ways, because this financial abundance is also going to bring us an ability for abundance of personal growth, of being able to expand in areas of our life that we've only just dreamed of before, or maybe not even dreamed of, right? So think about that. Have you gotten close to things? Have there been times when, you know, you've gotten there, but then you lost it, or you couldn't quite get over the hump to the next level that you wanted? And this is what we're doing. We need a leader shift, right? For the next level of leadership, for the $1 billion mindset. I reckon there's a lot of us that might have an upper limit when it comes to $1 billion mindset. And so one of the goals here is to help us all be able to have that personal development of understanding that some of these things are programmed. They're just programs that you can reprogram, right? You can get rid of that stuff. Think of it like a computer. You're hardwired. You're going to survive. That's set. That's set by, you know, big planner. You're going to survive. But the thing is, to thrive, you may need to, you know, get rid of some old programs and do some reprogramming. And that's what we're going to be working on here this year. So it's great to gain knowledge. And we talked about some books here today that can be very useful for us. And it's good. Leaders are readers. There's no doubt about it. It's a good thing to be constantly staying in that. But there's an important difference between knowledge and knowing. Knowledge comes from information, but knowing comes from experience. And experience comes from taking action. You don't really know until you've had the experience. You can read all the books you want on flying airplanes, but until you've got up there in that cockpit and held on to those sticks, whatever they're called, you don't know anything about flying an airplane. You just know knowledge. You're just a talker. You can't do the walk. You can't do the flying. So experience comes from taking action, and that really shows up. And you know, remember this? This was the early mission, and it hasn't changed. Mission is to produce the highest quality gold available in the market, make it easily accessible to the masses of honest people around the world at a price point everyone can afford. My goal is to help millions find financial freedom from the current system of debt with Karatbars. Harold Seiss, those are his words. That was his mission, his vision. Thank heavens he took action. You know, he took action. And look where we are now. Now, yes, we need a better world, and I'm looking forward to the future. Now, he can give a guarantee like this. I guarantee each 100 KBC coins for 1 gram of gold on Golden Independence Day, July 4th, 2019. A vision, a mission, and taking action has produced these results. It has drawn 600,000 people and more to this company. And there's still many more millions to work with. So, you know, we're on our way. We've got the right thing going on. So, how many of you were here for the 2018 vision and mission that we talked about in 2018? We were going to 10x. I remember in January, all the talk was 10x. We're going to 10x our business. We're going to 10x our income. We're going to 10x our team. We're going to 10x. And you know, I'm not sure I believed that I could do that, but I took action. Right? I was excited. I had trust and belief in the leaders and in my team, and I took action. And how many of you 10x your income, 10x your financial future, right? And what's going to happen? You know, how many of us did that? I mean, we 10x'd big time. We might have even more than 10x'd Karatbars itself, right? Sean did. Rebecca did, Rosa did, Terry did. You know, we 10x'd in so many different ways. She was able to save 10 times, right? You had to do 10 times to save 10 times. All sorts of different ways 10x happened. Well, so the mission and the vision that is being cast for 2019 is to 100 explode. 100 explode. That's 100 explode. You know, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready to 100 explode your business, your life, your personal growth? Because it's all connected. It's all tied together, right? So this company went from, let's say, 100 million in 2018. Actually, it's doing quite a bit better than that. But around that, we wanted to go to, in 2019, to $1 billion, right? Is it possible? Look at the growth we had. I mean, in 7 years, we did a little over 100 million. And then in 1 year, less than 1 year, 2018, we did 100 million like really fast because of this wealth transfer. It's not just that we're amazing, although we are. It's not just that we have an amazing CEO with a vision and mission, which we do, but it's because there is something going on this planet and in this universe. There's a shift, there's a change, and it's creating, part of the reflection of that is this great transfer of wealth. You know, it's about empowering humanity, individuals, right? And so we're with this energy. We can ride this energy, and we can help drive this energy and make a change for the future of many people. We can definitely, I think, 100 explode our business in 2019. Who's in with me? Who does this? Who's ready to go? Are you ready to take action? Can you believe that small steps added to small steps consistently can produce big results? To bring us to a 2019 100 explode, right? Are you ready for $1 billion mindset? It's going to happen with a leader shift. and take us to the next level of leadership. That's what's required here. That's what we're looking for in ourselves. Right? It all starts here. So here's the call to action. For the 100 Explode, we're going to invite 100 people. We're going to invite 100 people. We're going to use the Slight Edge philosophy a little bit each day, 3 a day, until the next boot camp, to invite 100 people to see our Karatbars presentation. It is located at, for those of you that are new, at www.goldmoneyintro.com. And I know we have teams from all over the world, and your team may be using your own intro video. That's fine. Goldmoneyintro.com is a place that we can send people to get the introduction. We are just inviting them. Can you be the inviter? Can you invite 100 people? And remember, the invitation is a short period of time. You want to get your list ready. You want to be ready so that you're not thinking, well, okay, so I've got to find 3 people today. You want to have a list, a big list, so that you can just go down through the list. And maybe some days it might take you an hour before you can actually get 3 people on the phone and invite them to take a look at our information that we have at Gold Money Intro. It might take an hour. Maybe the first 3 calls you make, you're going to reach 3 people. And that day, it might only take a few minutes. And remember, it's a quick invitation. We're inviting. We're not the message. We are the messenger. There's something great going on. This is what's going on with me. I'm really excited about it. Do you want to know about it? You know, and you can put it in your own words. But basically, what I do is something very simple like this. You know, hey, Penelope, how you doing today? Great. Do you have a couple of minutes? I do. Good, because I've only got a couple of minutes too, but I'm really excited. I want to get this information to you. I've discovered something that has really changed my life right now for my income, but for the future, it's amazing. And, you know, I'm kind of worried about retirement. So I was wondering, is this something, do you have 3 minutes? Would you like to learn about this? 3 minutes. I've told her 3 minutes. And usually I'm going to get a yes on that. And then I say, great, have you got a pencil? And I have them write down this web address, goldmoneyintro.com, but I'm also going to send it to her too. And then I just say, great, can you take a look at it right now? Yeah, I can, great. Then I'll let you look at that. I'm gonna give you a call back in 10 minutes. I just wanna hear what you think. And same thing, if no, then when, great. I'm gonna give you a call that evening about 7. I wanna hear what you think, okay? And that's it. You got to set up the follow-up, have them have an expectation that you are going to wonder. That's my way. What are some of the ways that you do? Let's go ahead and just type in the chat box there. What are some of the invitations that you use that you have found to be successful for you, to work for you? And you may alter this a little bit over time, but the important thing is it needs to be brief, right? You just want to pique their interest, that this is something that could interest them, and you get the information to them so they can look at it, and you got to let go of the outcome. You can't want it more for them than they want it, right? And if you do the same thing for everybody, you might change it a little bit because you know that Sarah has just lost her job, or you know that Pete really wants to build a cottage at the lake. So he's looking for some more income. You may change it a little bit because you know little bits about these people. But basically, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be inviting them to look at some information that is meaningful to you. It's been meaningful to you in your life, right? It's something's going on. It's exciting for you in some way. And it needs to be a brief thing. And get it to them and let it stand on its own. Don't wiggle it into the middle of a long conversation. You know, let it stand on its own. Let it have its own importance. And, you know, this is an amazing opportunity. There's probably very few people in your community that if they knew it, they wouldn't be interested, right? And it's really up to us to deliver it in a way that allows them to be interested. Not everybody's going to say yes. But the more you say, usually the more resistance, because most people, when you're talking to them about something, they're looking for a way not to like it. That's just our thing. That's the way we're programmed. Most people are programmed that way. Even people that you think are open-minded. When they're presented with something, it's like, no. Right? So you need to make sure that the least you say, but just enough to let them know, hey, there's a great restaurant downtown. I was there last week and I had the best chicken piccata I've ever had. Oh, great. What's the name? That's what you want to be thinking. That's what you want to, what's what you want to do. Quinna says, hey, listen, I found a way that has tremendously impacted mine and Russell's finances, and I'd love to share it with you. It may or may not be work for you. So she's taking taking the pressure away. But I'd appreciate it if you take a look, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Perfect. And that's we know that's successful, don't we? Goal Director Elite 3, Quinna, right? So learn from this. And if you're not doing that, if you're giving them all of the information and you're the talker and you're the knower, you're going to be shooting yourself in your foot. And I know that our leaders, our successful leaders already know this. They already understand that this is a 3-step process. You just want to expose people to an invitation, and then they see the presentation, and then there's a connection. You want to connect them with your business partners, you know, so that they know there's a team to rely on. There's a team that's together, that's there for them. It's not just all about the sponsor, right? Yeah, it's not just all about the sponsor. You can want to make those connections. They already know this, and they know that is the secret to duplication. The secret to duplication is really having a system that I can do, that a busy doctor can do, that the little girl who is just graduated from high school and that is a single mom can do. That's the secret to duplication, is it has to be something that everybody can do. And you'll bring a little bit of your own personality to it. But if you go and change it all up, the results will not be the same, because people won't be able to duplicate that. And it's about duplication. It's about the people that you share it with being able to duplicate. And no one can duplicate me. No one can duplicate Priska. No one can duplicate Quinna, right? But we can duplicate a system. Right? That's the key. So there you go. We want to give this call to action so that we can find that turning simple disciplines into massive success and happiness is real. So this is about taking up this homework, this call to action to invite 100. Who's in? I want to see who is in to go ahead and invite 100 people to take a look at our presentation. Who's in? Deb's in, Katie's in, Lori's in, Jeff's in, David's in, Marie's in. It's going so fast my chat can't keep up with it. This is it. This is that small step. And all you're doing is inviting them to look at a 3-minute video. Or it can be a larger video, but I usually say the 3-minute video, because I think that that's very powerful and that can lead to the other one. But when you send them to Gold Money Intro, they're all there. So you know, they can pick which one they want depending on the time that they have. And generally, they're going to progress up to see the others anyway. But remember, definitely in, John's in, Carol's in, Voldemar's in. I love that we have people from all over. Delphin's in, Connie's in, Mangoskin's in. This is what will bring us to the $1 billion company, and being able to help bring financial freedom, to present that opportunity for millions and millions and millions and millions of people. You know, we got to stretch a little bit. And for some of us, that may seem huge, but take it in little bites. How do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time, right? So 3 a day. There isn't anybody that probably can't make 3 calls a day, right? You know, you can do it, and have that attitude, that leap of faith that you can do it, and you will find that you can. And you know what? It feels really good in the end. Let go of the outcome, follow the system. And there's some great getting started. Quinna's in, Teresa's in. There's some great getting started programs that we have, very tiny little videos that are going to be very helpful for us. But also there is a getting started training at synergygoalgroup.com. And there's also a PGR tracker there that will help you keep track of You know, there's something nice about ticking off. How many of you make a list every day and you kind of like, doesn't it feel good when you check something off, you draw a line through it? You know, you've gotten that done. You know, you make that list every day of the things that you want to do and or that you need to do, that you want to do, your aspirational, your must-dos, whatever. And when you tick them off, it just feels good. And it also gives you that sense of accomplishment. There's something about having that visual. The PGR tracker is also available at synergygoalteam.com. And you will be able, it's under training tools, marketing tools, training tools. You will be able to use that to keep track of your 3 a day. And here's the key. Don't try to eat that elephant all at once. The rare person who can take that goal and sit down and bang it out in 2 days and have much success. Learn to take the small steps. Learn to do a few, because anyone can do that. And if your story is, I banged out 102 days and I had 47 people that joined and blah, 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 all the people that you're talking to, that you're telling that story to, are going to say what? I could never do that. And you know what? They're probably right. I mean, that is a lot, right? I mean, someone has to really set aside a tremendous amount of time to do that. And then you've really cut your market down. You've really hurt so many people that would have had the opportunity to be able to succeed with this. So understanding, teaching us that leaders, let's shift. It's these small steps that are going to make the massive difference. So do them, integrate them, believe them, see that they happen, and then you can share it. Then you have that to share. So I'm really excited about this. As you can see from the chat box, people are excited about this. And here's the thing. Together, we can 100 explode 2019. What do you think? Who agrees with me? Together, we can 100 explode 2019. Together, we can. I want to thank everybody for being here today. This was heart-opening for me, and I hope it was for you too. And know that this entire year is specifically designed as a course. They're going to be recorded. You will be able to go back and review them. You will be able to invite people that join your team 3 or 4 months from now to start at the beginning and to be able to follow their progression through. So it's going to be a very useful course for us. And this is really all about creating that billion-dollar mindset that together we can move this company to the next level through having us shift, having a leadership so that we have next level leadership. And it's empowering, it's exciting. I'm so happy to have been able to be here and share this with you today. And I want to invite you and everybody that you want to invite, please, to come to the next one, which is February 9th at 1 p.m. And for now, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you. Thank you very much.